Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. This is Andy, and we're going to be doing What's in Box kit review number 292 today. And we're looking at my Savoia Marchetti S.M.81 Pipistrello, which is a 172 kit made by a now defunct company called Supermodel, which were an Italian company. It's obviously a transport aircraft of the Regia Aeronautica, I think it is. The Italian Air Force, and this little kit originally turned up from a new tooling in 1973. So it's kind of vintage at the end of the day. For the other history on this that I could find, it had a new box sometime later on in the 1970s, and it also had a new box in sometime in the 1980s as well. Although the box looked exactly the same, it was just some sort of minor update. Judging by the condition and the sort of shininess of this one, I'm going to say that this is probably a 1980s kit, although it is in really good looking condition. The kit number on this is 10-008, and as we can see, it's kind of glossy looking. We have a painting diagram on the rear. As we can see, it has these rather splendid red stripes on it. Not too sure what they're all about, that being the undersurface there, so that would be quite an interesting one to paint up. And it obviously has the tricolour Italian flag on the tail as well. We also get this beige and green splodgy affair with grey undersurfaces, and we get some colour hints on the side. So we're going to go through the parts and the instructions, which are kind of amusing, I must admit. Do stick around for those, and we'll have a quick read on the blurb if you're not particularly familiar of what a Savoia Marchetti SM81 Pipistrello is. But it does kind of look like the Junkers JU-52, a tri-motor aircraft with a couple of it's got some turrets on this. This actually has not as actually are the painting on the box. So let's have a look at these parts, and as we can probably expect, we have raised panel lines all over this because you couldn't do inverted panel lines back in the 70s. It does actually have some faint rivet marks on, so that's pretty nice, I must admit, and they don't seem to be spoiled by multiple pressings over the years. We have a rather interesting mounting point here for the main wing, which is kind of the reverse of what you normally get, because obviously you normally get a hole in the fuselage and you get a plug in the wing. So that's kind of interesting. So we've got the panel lines going all the way down here. We have spaces for multiple windows, doors and hatches. So I'll just give you a full-on look at the fuselage. Space for the front-mounted tri-motor at the front, and space for a turret there as well. On the undersides here, we have what looks like a load of weaponry. We have these sort of little ladders here coming out, and we have a couple of heavy-duty machine guns. I think that's going to be the cockpit console display. Well, it's completely plain. We have the rear tail here, which I'm going to hazard a guess it's going to be supposed to be fabric covered. I'm not too sure what all the markings are there, whether that's intended or not. It's on both sides. These look like they're probably going to be parts of the bulkhead interiors. Got some pins, probably for attaching propellers, I would have thought. A couple of control wheels. Not too sure what those parts are. Got a rear tail wheel. I think they're going to be mountings for the torpedo, because this would also serve as a bomber, sort of torpedo bomber. We have some struts here for the fixed undercarriage. There's our single torpedo, which needs sticking together. And that's about it for that screw. Doesn't look too bad. Can't really see anything to be too critical about for a sort of 1970s kit anyway. Looks pretty good. So here we have the wings. We have a not too sure whether, I think this is the lower surface of the wing. It's got a nice chunky vent going on there. These appear to be access points, or no, they're probably going to be mounting points for the fuselage of the undercarriage. I would have thought you can see one there, one here, and one here. That's just a guess. Got a little opening there. Obviously we've got some ailerons to attach. This is the upper surface of the wing, I'm thinking. Raised panel lines again. Maybe we should try smoothing some of these out at some point. And again, this is the other surface, wing surface. We've got the vent there as well. Here we have three quite large triple propellers, a little tiny bit of flash, no big deal. What the hell are they? I think they're going to be parts of the engine. There's 6 of them, so they've got to be parts of the engine, haven't they? There's our actual engines there. They've got some reasonably pretty good detail. There's our ailerons. Again, we've got that sort of strange sort of distress look to them, which I'm guessing that's got to be intentional then. It's probably just synthesized fabric, I imagine. This looks like a door going into the cockpit. There's a cockpit floor. It's going to be part of the floor for the interior, I would have thought. They're going to be parts of the tail. Again, we've got that sort of stressed look on them, so that must be intentional, that. A couple of engine housings, little spats here for the undercarriage. A couple of pilots. Not exactly what you'd call great looking, but hey, at least they're there. Bit of flash on them, kind of weird look to the boots. No idea what these parts are. Got a couple of wheels, a couple of struts by the look of it. There's not much detail on the wheels, but they look alright. Don't know what they are. Some detail on the spats there. Don't look too bad. There's 3 loose pieces. These are obviously going to be engine mountings as well. I think there's an optional choice on these because we've got these ones and we have these ones. These ones obviously look like what we've got on the actual aircraft here, and these are just loose, so I'm thinking this must be an addition. Okay, let's have a look at this. Look at this, we get a stand with Supermodel on it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Got the cockpit canopy. Another canopy here, don't know where that's for. It's probably underneath. Oh yeah, see, that goes on there at the bottom. So that's obviously like a bomb aiming point. We've got a couple of turrets here, and we have a whole load of little tiny windows with nothing really to attach the glue to, so they could end up being a bit of a gluey mess, unfortunately. I don't like that. I don't know why people couldn't just make these a little bit bigger so you've got somewhere to stick the glue to. Interestingly, I did see another couple of figures. There they are as well. So yeah, there's 2 more figures here. It looks like a bomb aimer, and that's possibly a gunner. They're really not very good looking, are they? But at least they're there. Okay, so got the decals. Stick out for these instructions. These instructions are hilarious. So these were creased, unfortunately, but that looks okay. So we've got the fascist Italian roundel marking. We've got a bunch of numbers, which interestingly are not as per indicated on the box. Got some pretty cool unit insignias though. One with a moon on it. Don't know what that is, and some sort of coat of arms. There you go, a little cockpit display. That's all right. So we've got 3 different unit badges by the look of it. They look all right. Let's have a look at these instructions. These are cool. I'll read this blurb out at the end. So we have our full page of details for our parts. It's worth pointing out that none of the parts have actually got numbers on them, which is kind of happens with a lot of manufacturers, I've noticed. And they're numbered on the actual sprue diagram. And then we get our instructions, and oh my god, what the hell is this? There are 2 windows, and everything goes together in 2 windows, and that looks like a right dog's dinner, gotta be honest with you. And that too, that's not too bad, but I mean, you know, why not just put another sheet of paper and make it just a little bit easier? That looks horrendous. On the other side we don't have anything. So let's read up about what the Savoia Marchetti is all about. The SM-81 first appeared in 1934 as the military bomber version of the SM-73 transport. After evaluation trials by the Aeronautica Militaire of the prototype and several pre-production machines, the SM-81 was ordered for large-scale production. The series production was undertaken by several Italian aeronautical firms. The Pipistrello was a typical bomber of the Italian Air Force, characteristic of the period. The SM-81 began entering service with the Italian bomber squadrons early in 1935, with various units based in Italy. At the end of the same year, the first squadron arrived in Eritrea and operated the aircraft with great success in the Ethiopian northern sector, in bombing missions as well as reconnaissance and support. It was one of the first foreign types to arrive in Spain at the end of July 1936 and made possible the transfer of colonial troops from Spanish Morocco. Other SM-81 units operated in the bombardments, confirming the aircraft's robust structure and defensive capabilities. In 1936, one model was fitted with 2 torpedoes, and trials were held at Sarzana, Naples and Gorizia, where later the torpedo bombing units were based. The aircraft became a sensation because of its formidable armament, and it was during this period of trials that the invention of fitting a small stub wing to the torpedo for improved stability was born. At the start of this World War II, the bigger part of the SM-81 squadrons were overseas: Libya, Albania and East Africa. Initially used for daylight missions, the SM-81 was later relegated to night duties, earning the name Pipistrello or Bat. Oh, that's what Pipistrello means. Later, the aircraft was issued to the Blind Flight School anti-transport units, one such wing operating in Russia. After the armistice, some models remained with the Allies in the south. Those that remained in the north were used by the RSI, even in Finland. Some models were used after the war by the Italian Air Force. So there we go. That's the Savoia Marchetti SM-81 Pipistrello, or BAT, by the now defunct company Supermodel, of Italian heritage. And it looks relatively clean, relatively simple. Don't like the windows. Don't think too much of the figures, but at least they're there. I hate the instructions. That's awful. You know, another sheet. That's all it needed. But hey, whatever. As far as getting hold of this kit, there is currently one available on eBay in the UK for £14.99 plus £4 postage and packing. So if you want one, that seems like a good deal. Standard price for this seems to be around about the £22 to £30 mark with the postage. So it's kind of standard sort of price for an aircraft of this sort of size, I would say. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please do like and subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like. I'm going to go and do the garden now and have a barbecue. So as always, thanks for watching and be seeing you.